Hello, hello, hello. I am Jack. I am back, and I know best. And I am here to prove it once again, each and every night, by outdrafting two competitors at the very least. Tonight we have two, one of which the donors to the at Javnaugh87 Best Ball Fund are important nonsense very own Jordan McDonald and important nonsense very own Mike Manning. The two of them will be contributing, as always, to me because I'm going to win, because Jack knows best. And if you feel like you know better than Jack, you can join us on UnderDog with promo code Nonsense. And we are back, we are here, and we are ready to roll. And I hope you're ready to once again donate some money to me, Jordan.
We'll see about that. So I am Jordan, and I am back for 2 weeks in a row. I was such a great guest last week, so Jack pleaded me to come back on.
I begged.
We've upgraded the setting, though. I went from being in a musty basement to another basement, so we're moving on up in the world. And you know what? We're here for another round of Best Ball, and we're going to be victimized by the Wheel of WoW, but I'm ready. Let's do this.
And it's not just Jordan that will be donating to the at Javnaugh87 Best Ball Contribution Fund. It is also Mike Manning joining us for the first time. Mike is another staff at ImportantNonsense.com. Mike, are you ready to donate money to me?
Yeah, we'll see if the new guy can beat a couple wily veterans here and stop your streak of supposed knowing best.
Spoiler alert, you cannot. The streak never dies because I am the host, I make the decisions, I make the rules, and of course, as the judge, jury, and executioner, I referee the contest as well. So try your best, but don't be surprised, and don't be upset when you fail to meet expectations against the one and only Jack Kavanaugh. I'm sorry, but it's just the way it is. And so it looks like we are ready to join in our lobby. 12-person, $5 draft. Hop in there, Jordan and Mike, and we will get going once the lobby fills. And so we'll see how the Wheel of WoW treats us this time. It was not too kind last week to myself, to Jordan. It was a little bit kind to Matt Mercer. He got the same picks as us, but he reached on a tight end, drafted TJ Hawkinson, and it really, really helped things along for him. And we just didn't have that same luck. We made some poor decisions early in the draft, but we rebounded, and what do you know? And so at this point, we are still waiting for 4 people, and so if you have yet to join us on UnderDog Fantasy, use promo code Nonsense for a free $25, which is the exact amount that you need to join in on the Best Ball Mania tournament, the Best Ball Mania 2 tournament, which is exactly $25. And you can compete for $1,001,001, which I did earlier today. And because Jack knows best, I'm probably going to win it. So we'll see.
Yeah, those poor people won't know what's coming.
I don't think they did. I really don't think they were ready for it. I think they were unprepared, and I think I just $1,001. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But anyways, Mike, since you're the new guest here, tell the audience about yourself. What do you do for ImportantNonsense.com?
Well, I'm one of the new guys here, just starting this year. I write for the AFC North for these off seasons, and going to be doing some redraft during the season for a weekly article. So just keep an eye out for all my interesting takes during the season.
Keep an eye out for his takes and for Jordan's as well over at ImportantNonsense.com. Jordan, what are you going to be writing about this coming season?
Well, I have a player profile coming up. I don't know if I want to spoil it. It's not that big of a surprise, but look for that coming. That should be out next month.
It's a Colt for sure.
And no, it's actually not a Colt. It's
What?
no, it's not a Colt. I
Interesting.
chose a player who isn't really going under the radar, but is somebody who may be devalued based on how last season went. And that's kind of what we do with these player profiles. Yeah, there was a few others that I was looking at, and so our editor for those, Aiden, reached out to me, and he's like, "This is like the date you're gonna be doing." He's like, "Do you know when you're gonna pick?" And I just like, "Oh, I'll look." And then he was telling me all these players were going off the board. Like Josh Reynolds was taken. I don't know if I should be exposing this, but like I don't know if could be a surprise. But all these players were going, and I'm like, okay, I better plant my flag right now. So I chose a player, and yeah, look for that. It should be out actually around a month from now. I'm working on it right now. I'm getting research, and they're fun to do. I did 2 last year. I did one on T.Y. Hilton and David Johnson, which in hindsight probably didn't really.
Ooh, so you were the one non-important nonsense given the bad advice last year. That was you.
I look back too, and there were some other players that. So I think Aiden did Jordan Howard. So I mean, it wasn't that bad. Like it could have been a lot worse.
Jordan Howard. Remember?
Hey, I'm also a Jordan Howard believer, so I feel like I have some sort of stance on that. But yeah, like Ty, I love Ty, and I had great points to back up what I was saying. And then David Johnson, the opportunity was there. I mean, the concussion kind of held him back, and just the unimaginative offense, and the fact that they were like behind, like Deshaun Watson had to throw his arm off for the season to like go 4-12. So I don't think a lot of that was David Johnson, nor was it Bill O'Brien / Romeo Crennel. And that's the thing too. Bill O'Brien, one of my points is that Bill O'Brien traded DeAndre Hopkins for him, so he might as well use him, like run him into the ground. And I don't know if that philosophy changed when Tim Kelly took the reins as OC, but whatever. You know what? I'm not on David Johnson anymore this year. I got burned again this year or last year, and that running back room is just completely loaded with a lot of mid-tier options. So no, thank you.
And so mid-tier. Mid-tier. And so we are just waiting for one more person in our draft. And so in the meantime, we will explain the Wheel of Wow. We're still trying to come up with another name. No one has offered me anything. If you can come up with a better name, please tell me. Because in this situation, I don't know best. I'm bad at picking names other than the name of my own show. But the Wheel of Wow as it stands, we will be spinning the wheel. It will tell us what position we will all be drafting for that round. And so round 1 in this scenario would be a quarterback. And good thing that happened then, because we are ready to roll.
Oh my god.
And I have a 101. So oh boy. What will I be taking first?
Okay, so let me just say Steve's in this draft, and so is our friend Dave, who joined us last week, who is also playing along. So my god, I got 111, so I am very scared of what's going to happen here.
Oh, and we were taking quarterback first round.
Yep.
That's
goodness.
Oh boy.
The people that don't know what this is going on are going to be so confused. They're going to be like, "Am I in like a 2 quarterback league, or is this a quarterback premium league? Like, what is going on?" I love how this stuff started. I wanted mayhem. I said this before the show. I wanted mayhem to begin, and I got what I asked for. So,
this is your fault. Thank you.
That's okay. You direct the blame to me. That's okay.
So I will be picking at the 101, and this is awful. I don't even like. I guess I'm taking Patrick Mahomes because I have not drafted Patrick Mahomes once yet, and so this will be my first and only exposure to Patrick Mahomes of the entire year. And so
I would love to be a fly on the wall in Hoopstar 5060's room right now, just being like, "What?"
So Mike will be picking at the 103. Dave, our friend, will be picking at the 104. And then Nonsense Steve, our boss, Steve Bone, will be picking at the 107. And where are you picking at? You're looking a little bit down the road.
111.
111. Yeah. So bookends of the draft, Jordan and I. Oh, boy. And Mike with the 103. Which quarterback will he be taking? And will he regret it?
I mean, it's a quarterback in the first round, so yes, but you got to do what the wheel says to do.
Josh Allen and Dak Prescott off the board. Thank you, Dave, for playing along with us, making us feel a little bit less awful about our picks.
Guy got Dalvin Cook at 5. Like,
Steve is so right. Hoopstar loves this game now. Like Hoopstar, yeah, 105 Dalvin Cook. No, the almighty Jamon is the big winner of this draft because he just got Dalvin Cook at the 105.
We're 6 picks in, and
the boss, Steve, takes Kyler Murray off the board. Wow. So this is the craziest draft of all time. We already have 4 quarterbacks in the first round. Is it 2007? Like, what is happening here?
Okay, I gotta hope I'm taking Jack's RB1 if Spence 23 doesn't take my guy, which he obviously would not because he's...
Oh, so, Lamar Jackson is going off the board.
I mean, I'm just happy I got Lamar. So, all right, what do we have next?
Next, we have a wide receiver off the board, which...
Okay, this is a lot better. Okay, so...
I would prefer to have some sort of choice here, but you know what?
Right. We're going full best ball. Tyreek Hill. I mean, I really can't. First wide receiver off the board.
It's fair. It's really fair. First wide receiver taken because everyone else... Jonathan Taylor at the 203. That is just...
insane.
Why do I have to host this show? Why can't I be entered just randomly? I need to make a separate account and just draft against us on the side. My goodness, I might know best, but I am also angry tonight. I am not feeling
we're not even through the second round and you're already mad. I love it.
Don't worry, we'll let you have Ty Johnson later on, and you'll be able to perk up a bit.
Oh, thank you. Steve wants to know, is this super flex? And no, it is not. This is a 1 quarterback per week league. Steve goes with Devontae Adams, which is a great pick at the 206. Dave will be drafting a wide receiver before Mike. Mike, who are you looking at here?
I mean, I was mildly hoping with little actual hope that Diggs was going to be able to drop down for the nice stack, but obviously that didn't go as planned. I mean, in the beginning, at the top of the wide receivers, it's really hard to go wrong. A lot of these guys have the high upside. DeAndre Hopkins is guaranteed to have at least a few 30-point games. A.J. Brown, even with Julio there, you're going to sit there and he's going to see plenty of targets, and he's the yak monster that he is, so he can turn anything into a 60-plus yard touchdown. I don't think I'll be too upset no matter who I get here.
And you took Aaron Jones.
Oh, I clicked it.
Oh, and so Mike betrays us all. Wow. Well, I guess I will be taking DeAndre Hopkins.
Thank you, Internet.
The new guy breaks the rules. The new guy just...
He's taking advantage of those running backs that we can't take. Oh, God, okay. Well, we're going to have terrible running. You know what? Mike was smart in pretending not to draft a wide receiver because we're not going to get good running backs here.
No,
we are 3 rounds in, and I mean they're kind of like dropping with all our wide receivers. Or
all right, so I'm gonna go. So DeAndre Hopkins DeAndre Hopkins. To be fair, he's a good second round pick. There's nothing wrong with that. DK Metcalf is pretty solid 3rd round pick, but the only reason they're available here is because we drafted quarterbacks. Really, sorry, Steve, you didn't get a tight end. You got a receiver. Good luck. Mike, will you actually draft a receiver this round?
Yes, I will actually draft a receiver this round.
Do you pinky promise?
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Didn't fail me twice in a row.
Keenan Allen off the board to Mike. Amari Cooper off the board to Dave. Wide receiver back to back.
Yeah, there's going to be a big run of wide receivers, especially because, well, Dave just took Amari Cooper. We know Steve's going to take a wide receiver. There's a lot of good options. I know Steve's going to take. So there's 2 people, but I don't think either of them are going to fall to me. But he'll have his choice between those 2, or at least one of them will drop to him. And I'm just looking now. Like I'll still get a good guy, but it's not fun. But being this though, yeah. So I thought he was going to take Allen Robinson. Smart move.
Allen Robinson is the smart move. I did a video for him for the Player Profiler Draft Kit. That'll be coming out soon. Allen Robinson video done by me, and the Bears are back. Like, the Bears are back, baby. They are so ready to roll with Justin Fields. I can't wait. Best decision ever. And a little bit of foreshadowing. Maybe I'm doing a player profile on him for an important nonsense as well. Maybe. Maybe that'll be coming out at the end of the month here. Who knows? Poor Jordan up next. Which wide receiver will he be?
You know what? I'm like, there's 3 good options at the top of the board. I'll tell you right now, I think I'm going to pick one of the first 2 because I did take CeeDee Lamb in my last team, and I like to switch it up. That's just who I am. I think CeeDee Lamb's great, but I'll take one of the first 2, whichever one that Spence 23 doesn't take. So absolutely, give me all Scary Terry. Yes, please.
Perfect.
Not even going to queue it up.
Perfect.
Just draft it.
And so I spun that a little too early. Could have risked it. Could have given you a chance to stack a receiver with a quarterback, but that doesn't happen. We go flex next, which is good because we can pick running backs finally.
Oh, but look, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, we can get our first running back
in the 4th. Which
oh my goodness! Oh, I was at the bottom of the not the bottom, but okay. So I mean, I know we are all split on him, but you know what? At the top of the 4th, I'll take him.
I'm not even really split on Clyde Edwards-Helaire anymore, you know? Like, he was a rookie last year. We were projecting him to get... The problem with Clyde Edwards-Helaire last year is everyone thought that Kansas City's offense was going to be better than mathematically possible, and they think that every year. And it's the same thing the Bills are going through right now. There's just not enough touches and targets to go around.
Yeah.
That was the problem last year. Now everyone has decided, oh, he sucks, not drafting him. It's like, no, he's still in line for a good workload. He put up 1,200 yards.
So this is another thing that I wouldn't do on a redraft team, is that I have both Hill and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, obviously, they're both great to have, but just, like, I wouldn't have them both because you're right. Like, they're going to, like, take away from each other. But in best ball, like, both of them could have great games, like, just based on how great that offense can be. But I'm okay with that. I'll take Clyde. There's a lot of other good options on the board, but
Steve takes Chris Carson.
Well, you knew that was going to happen.
I know, but I wanted him. I drafted Chris Carson ahead of J.K. Dobbins in my Best Ball Mania 2 draft earlier today. That hurt a lot. But I don't think you can put J.K. Dobbins ahead of Chris Carson. Am I wrong? Am I crazy?
No, not really. I can see the justification of it. I just don't know how, like, because I think Gus Edwards will have a bigger role than Rashad Penny, and I don't know if that was your reasoning. And,
that is the reasoning.
Yeah, and does it like Russ is going to take rushes away from his running backs like Lamar will? So yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I don't think you're in the wrong.
All right, and a reminder, Mike, you are... Oh, and Mike does stick with the right pick. He picks the right position.
Well, it was a flex.
I know, but he did it. He did it.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't a kicker. So
You know what, Jack? we could screw ourselves here if we don't get a tight end because we did that last time. And
nope, maybe later. Maybe with...
If we had running backs, I would have thought about it, but running backs are getting kind of thin.
I will be taking Travis Etienne, the Jaguars RB1. Everyone is sleeping on because for some reason they think that. They think that James Robinson matters. Oh, super flex with the next one. That makes things interesting.
Super flexy.
Oh, boy. I don't want another quarterback this early because I drafted Patrick Mahomes, but...
That's fair.
Yeah, no, I can't afford to draft a quarterback here. I know maybe I mess up later, but no, and Robert Woods in the 5th round is just too much to pass up. I know I should probably take another running back here, but like Robert Woods versus Mike Davis, Myles Gaskin. Nope. Will it happen in time? Did I do it quick enough? No, Robert Woods is the pick. And that's okay.
See, this is the one round where you can like mess up your pick and you still get it right.
Yeah, like Robert Woods in the 5th round is completely...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I probably should have gone running back because it is Travis Etienne and no one else. My RB2 is going to be like James Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike, who are you taking with this lovely pick of yours?
I would like to select a certain player if it would do it in time to get the PPR monster from Miami.
Ooh,
Did it
Miles
do it?
Gaskin.
I think it did it.
Yep, you got him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he killed it whenever he was actually healthy. They used him a lot. Tua is perfectly fine with checking down, even though he threw 5 interceptions in a rainstorm because he's trying to be, more downfield and take more chances. So I still think he's going to drop it down plenty.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a bell cow when healthy. I remember there was that week he came back, and we were all kind of worried, like, is it Savon Ahmed or is it Miles Gaskin? And it's like, no, it is absolutely not Savon Ahmed.
It was 100% Miles.
Yeah, completely relegated. Oh no, Steve takes the tight end. And so did Dave. Oh no. They're going to be the one.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He took my pick. Steve actually, I was going Hawkinson.
Learning from last time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I know I have to check again. I think I know who I'm going to pick, though, if he doesn't get sniped in the next 2 picks.
Good. Actually, I don't know. Maybe Craig Ferris and maybe Spence 23 are in the draft, but you could tell us if you really wanted to.
Well, they don't have a quarterback, so I know that they're not watching and they're not following. Well, they could be watching. They refuse to draft a quarterback first. So, you know what? I am not going to make the mistake of my prior best ball team. And I am actually going to do this because I can stack them. I'll take Mark Andrews.
That was wise. That was very wise. And so the next pick, I did it too quick again, but it did pay off. Running back. And now I kind of...
Oh, my God.
You're in that wonderful dead zone.
Yeah.
You don't want any of these guys, but you're forced to take them and then live with the consequences here. Although it's great that I just sat there with running backs.
I hate this. All right, I'm just going to take Chase Edmonds. I don't feel great about it. Javonte Williams could be great towards the end. I'm more worried about Melvin Gordon than I am about James Conner. Let's just say that. That was my decision. That's why I made that decision.
Steve, who will Steve take? Will he take the Denver running back or one of the 49ers guys?
Or Leonard Fournette.
I could. He is a big Uncle Len fan. I know Steve loves Uncle Len.
Playoff Lenny mood turning into regular season Lenny.
It's RB. Oh, Steve with a great idea. Mike, since you did take a running back with Aaron Jones earlier, Steve suggests you take a wide receiver here, and I think that's only fair.
That makes sense.
I am against went against the rules. I gotta sit there and take the consequences here.
I mean, is it really a consequence when you look at who's at running back right now? I think that's doing you a favor.
Look at Steve. Just even when he's not here, he's here with us in spirit, and he's here giving us orders. You have to absolutely love that. The guy knows what's up, but he doesn't know best because Jack knows best. Mike, which receiver will you be taking? Oh, Dave took Javonte Williams, because of course he did, and I will be taking. The good news is, unless Raheem Mostert goes off the board here, I will have both French running backs. I will have Travis Etienne, and I will have Raheem Mostert, which is just great news for the Canadian here, even though I don't think I'm pronouncing either of those names right when I do it in the French accent, but c'est la vie, and wide receiver.
It's the first I've heard of it, so you either are the very best at it or not the best at all.
Title of the show would say I'm the best at it. But
fight, Mike. Don't fight him on that. You're losing. It's a losing battle.
Oh boy, Cortland Sutton versus Chase Claypool is a very tough decision. I think I have to go Sutton because the target share is more stable in Denver than Pittsburgh, whereas Chase Claypool could be the wide receiver 3 behind Deontay Johnson and Juju Smith-Schuster. Cortland Sutton is at least the wide receiver 2 behind Jerry Jeudy, but probably the wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, and Chase Claypool could be the wide receiver 1, but you don't know that. Like, and then Sutton, yeah, exactly what you said. He offers a better floor for targets.
And Mike is up on the board. He does get to join us and pick a wide receiver this time. Will he make the smart move, the guy I rejected, or will he go off base?
I will not be taking Chase Claypool. I will give you that.
Oh, Devontae Smith. So tell us about that decision.
They made him the top 11 pick for a reason, and that's because they want to feed him the ball, and they're going to want to feed him the ball a lot. Even though Jalen Hurts is going to be iffy as a passer in general, I don't think that any of the other wide receivers on the Eagles are going to command the target share near what Devontae Smith is going to get. And he succeeded in college at his size.
You don't think he's too skinny?
I don't think he's too skinny. I don't think he is too skinny at all.
I just want to say, Mike, that I'm very proud that I know you're a Steelers fan, and the fact that you didn't take Chase Claypool and went with your bias is.
Yeah, you notice the yellow flags, the terrible towels I have.
Terrible towels. Yep.
Yes, I try not to let my fandom take too much into my fantasy.
That's the deadly sin, or the cardinal sin, especially if you root for Arizona.
Funny enough, the two guys that are joining us that aren't on camera, Steve and Dave, they take the two Steelers receivers in Juju and Claypool.
Okay, Spence, don't screw me here, because I am going to do what I did last week. Okay, guys, are you ready? You guys are in the air of this. Second time in my life that I drafted Will Fuller on a team.
It's the right decision. It is absolutely the right decision.
And I already love my wide receivers. I've got Tyreek Hill and Will Fuller, and beautiful best ball. And we're going another wide receiver. Okay. So maybe I will take the unsexy pick and Tyler Boyd. Yeah, I think so. I got the big ceiling play. I think I'll take Boyd. I don't hate. Well, I kind of hate it, but
as you sit here and you're talking yourself into it, so
yeah, I just think with Will Fuller is kind of the opposite with Boyd. Like they're different players in terms of like their value. So
they are very different players. That is for sure. Will Fuller's
that was an obvious thing to say.
Yeah. The guy that runs faster than almost anyone in the NFL is different than the guy that runs slower than almost any receiver in the NFL. Good job, Jordan. Great analysis.
Thank you. So that's why they bring me on every week. That's why Jack brings me on every week.
That's why
that hard-hitting analysis.
Did we have you on the show 2 weeks in a row because I like you playing, or I like hearing your thoughts, or did I have you on 2 weeks in a row because I like beating you? We will never know.
We'll never know.
Steve on the board, taking a wide receiver here as well. Some quality options, not really available. I think there is one receiver I would like here.
Is he going to take his boy Brandon Cooks, or?
I think no. Oh, and he takes Mike Williams.
Wow, I can't say I would have guessed that one. Can't say I'm a big fan of Mike Williams this year.
I get it. He is a better best ball receiver.
He's also in a contract year, so he could have that Will Fuller zone. Yeah, it's true. It's a typical best ball receiver, a guy that you definitely wouldn't be looking at this early, maybe in a redraft.
Now that I'm thinking more about it, like Curtis, I just spoiled that one. There's two guys ahead of me. Curtis Samuel was the one that I was thinking. However, Mike Williams is going to be on one of the fastest pace offenses in the NFL. He wanted Visca, so that makes it a lot more sense because Visca is the clear option there. But
yeah,
Chargers, one of the fastest pace, best offenses in the NFL, whereas Washington, they're going to be passing less. They're going to be running more because their defense is so good. They're going to be in a lot of close games.
I just want to say shout out to Dave for taking my boy Michael Pittman. I'm glad to see there's another believer in the group among us.
And Mike takes Curtis Samuel.
Yes, I am perfectly fine with Curtis Samuel at this point.
All right. Well, I will be taking Brandon Cooks, because why not? He's the wide receiver one in Houston, even if his quarterback is Tyrod Taylor, even if his quarterback is Davis Mills, even if his quarterback is the best booty in football, Jeff Driscoll, whatever. It's fine. I've accepted it. It's fine.
So you're telling me you're not going to draft Crack a Bottle and draft Jalen Waddle?
No, even maybe best ball I should, but I just...
Yeah, but Brandon Cooks, I agree. Based on what you saw last year, it could, but the quarterback scares me because it's not Deshaun throwing to him. That's my only knock on him. But he's steady.
And we have to draft a tight end here. I don't get the Tyler Higbee love. I hate it. I don't know why he's being drafted above Noah Fant. Tyler Higbee's not a good athlete. He's not a great football player. He is just he's average at tight end. Just the definition of an average tight end. He finishes at a tight end 1 because that's just what happens in fantasy football. But everyone saw those 3 games in a row where he was good and love him now. So,
can I just ask why I have to be at the back of the bus every time we have the quarterback tight end? Because I'm going to be left with scraps when everybody goes tight end of this round.
Mike is going to take Tyler Higbee. That's why he's so quiet right now.
I mean, I know I've looked up stats on Stafford before, and he actually really likes targeting the tight end. I know that they have so many wide receivers in the corps, but he will target the tight end, and especially in the red zone. He is really big in targeting them there, like Joseph Fourier back in the day, Eric Ebron, all these guys.
Joseph Fourier. That's a name. That is the hard-hitting analysis you get on important nonsense.
Didn't he was in the news recently, wasn't he? Fourier for doing something.
I don't remember.
And I forget what it was. It was strange. It was something strange. I'll have to look it up. And
anyway, Steve is right. I do need Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater with my quarterback pick later on in the draft because I have Cortland Sutton, I have Noah Fant. He takes Irv Smith off the board. And now, Jordan, which tight end will you be taking?
Okay, so I'm looking here at this list, and Gesicki, I mean, it could be good. Tunyon, I'm on the side that I'm scared Rodgers can come back, which will nullify Robert Tunyon, make him useless. We all know what Evan Engram's about. Not very good, and plus Galladay, I think, is going to take away even more targets from him. So I'm going to take Jack's favorite player.
This is the second week in a row.
And go with Adam Troutman.
This is the second week in a row you got Adam Troutman, isn't it?
No, I didn't get him last week. Remember, I thought about it when we had one of our flex, and he was a little bit lower, and I missed out. So I went with Adam Troutman. Hopefully, you know what? I have Andrews, so I have a guy with a good ceiling every week, but Troutman, if he's what he's supposed to be hyped up to be, I think I did all right. Oh, sorry, I didn't see what are we drafting?
We will be taking running backs.
Yeah, I gotta do this quickly. I wasn't paying attention. That's my fault. Well, that made it easy for me. The only wide receiver one that's left on the board, like Jack said last week, when he was in this spot and drafted him, I will be taking Zach Moss if it lets me draft. Come on, there we go.
Well, you don't think Melvin Gordon's an RB1? You don't think Ronald Jones is an RB1?
I mean, is that a rhetorical question?
I mean, Arians did just say that he thinks they're both starting running backs, him and Fournette, which is not how that works, but okay.
No. Now I'm left at the back end of this, and I am going to be.
Yeah, it feels great when you're not and then we'll just switch it again. Like, oh, I'm at the back, and
yeah, I'm gonna be left with some ugliness here, aren't I? Steve with David Johnson. Steve takes the other Texan that matters. There's two. It's Brandon Cooks and David Johnson. I get one. Steve gets the other. Which running back will be joining Travis Etienne and Raheem Mostert as my RB3?
There's not too many with a French last name that you're going to be able to work with here. You're going to have to end your streak.
You hate to see it. And Gus Edwards and Tony Pollard off the board by not us, so that hurts us even further. Dave takes Jamal Williams, so another running back on, and Mike's probably going to break my heart and take someone good too. So this is just awesome. Kill me, Mike. Just stab me with this pick. I am ready to be stabbed in the heart.
Mike, I like that pick.
I mean,
Naheem Hines is a good pick.
he's going to be catching the ball, that's for sure.
And A.J. Dillon goes off the board, too. This is absolutely fantastic. I am left with Darrell Henderson because it's him or Latavius Murray, and Latavius Murray could still get cut.
What about, you don't want to be going through Las Vegas with your woes with Drake?
No, absolutely not. I do not want Kenyon Drake at all. I would have preferred David Johnson. Steve is right. The DJ hate has gone too far. I would have been happy to draft David Johnson there instead of Darrell Henderson.
It's just because of the repetition they've had at adding the mediocre, older running backs this offseason that's just made a really crowded backfield for them.
That went too quick, and I forget what it was. I think it was a wide receiver.
It was wide receiver.
Yeah, wide receiver.
Thank you. Jeez Louise. Moving too quick. I'm stressed out over this Darrell Henderson pick, and at least Darnell Mooney's going to bail me out a little bit. Darrell and Darnell, and I much prefer Darnell.
Crumbling under the pressure.
I am. It's, you know what? Jack knows best, but Jack is stressed because this team is just, oh boy.
You know what? Besides the first round quarterback, Wheel's been pretty nice to us so far. At least I think so. I think it's
I'm just angry about my running backs. I am the guy drafting running back early and often, and so when
Mike.
Mike
well,
with
Steve's gonna send you an angry message in about 5 seconds because that's who I thought he was taking.
Steve is swearing. It is a good thing Steve is not on the show.
Because I wanted him because I could stack him with Lamar, but I didn't think he'd go past Steve. But I didn't think Mike would snipe him.
I mean, it was either that or the Cole Beasley stack, and I just thought I'd have more upside with Rashad Bateman.
You just don't want to take that shot, am I right?
Right.
No.
T Meckley 1 took my guy. I'm big on Russell Gage. Oh man, that's upsetting.
Steve settles for Elijah Moore. An interesting thing on Elijah Moore that I found out this week. A.J. Brown is the wide receiver 1 in Dynasty, right? He's the best wide receiver to have in a Dynasty football league. He thinks Elijah Moore is a better football player than he is, so...
A.J. Brown
I have no idea
who better football player?
What's that, sorry, Mike?
A.J. Brown said that?
Yeah, A.J. Brown thinks Elijah Moore is a better football player than himself.
I wonder if that's because he went to Ole Miss. I hate this pick. I don't like this pick. When we go over our teams, this is going to be one of the picks that I hate making. All my guys were taken. I wanted Corey Davis. I wanted. I
figured that was who you're talking about whenever you were just starting with. I'm going to hate this. I don't like it, but it's happening.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
And so you're going to be taking a running back up here next, Jordan.
Running back? Okay, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
Ooh, who do I want?
Kenyon Drake's still on the board.
Yeah, well, no, he's not. So what I'm going to do,
No, he's not.
So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to own the Buffalo Bills backfield. I think that's the best move right now. Latavius Murray could be a good option, but I'll just rather have my stake in a backfield that we don't know if it's going to be good or not. We'll see. But I might as well just give myself some insurance for Zach Moss.
It's really going to suck for you and Matt Breida as the leading points getter.
Don't you put that into the universe, because you are totally right. Matt Breida will have a slice of that at backfield. It's going to happen, I know, but
it wasn't going to happen until right now when you decided that you were in on the Buffalo.
Yeah, that's what happened. That was the butterfly effect right now. Me taking.
All it takes is just getting it into the air, into the system, and then just going to cause chaos.
I mean, I don't like it. Like, Buffalo's not a backfield that I want to own. I just, that's just how the wheel went.
Well, I actually own the Buffalo backfield.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, well.
All right, Steve up next with a running back. An easy pick with Latavius Murray. He was the number 2 guy I would have taken if I didn't take Henderson. He could get cut, though. He still could get cut.
It's a good pick. I was debating. If I didn't have Zach Moss, I probably would have taken Latavius. You're in that thing where you're taking somebody's backup. You're taking the second guy on a depth chart. So
JD
hope for the
kissing
best.
forward to Dave, and Mike on board next with dun dun dun. James White off the board.
And I don't feel great about it, but it happened, and we're gonna probably disregard it once the draft's over. Pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah, just like my Ruggs pick.
Yep. We're in that range where it's just,
I think Ruggs, like, depending on what they want to do with him in year 2, I can see him being a good best ball receiver. Like, I can see him having massive stat lines some weeks and then just absolute duds the next. So, but still, like, you don't know if that's gonna happen. That's where, like, that's like the height of my optimism for him.
I just figure Cam might, or Mac Jones might just drop it off plenty whenever they're losing, and then.
So,
nope.
I am drafting Tariq Cohen with my running back pick and with my tight end pick. Ooh, let's see who.
Oh, of course, another back. Yeah.
This is an easy one, unless let's check the bye week. The bye week's lineup. It's Jonnu Smith and it's Noah Fant, and I still don't understand why Hunter Henry's ADP is so far away from Jonnu Smith. They should be right in line with each other. Historically, Jonnu Smith has played more inline snaps than Hunter Henry. Based on percentages, he's only played about 20% of his snaps in the slot, whereas Hunter Henry played about 40. So everyone thinks Jonnu Smith is going to be the big receiver. I'm not positive, but I still prefer him. It's just, it shouldn't be that big of a gap.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. So I made the mistake. I should have looked up bye weeks because obviously my running backs, I have Zach Moss and Singletary have the same bye week, and then Chase Edmonds and Hilaire have the same bye week. So that was oversight on my part, but
I don't care too much about it except for at tight end and quarterback because I'm only going to have 2 tight ends. Might only have 2 quarterbacks. They can't be on bye the same week. You can't afford to take a 0.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
It puts you in a tough spot whenever you're sitting there with just those kind of combinations.
Mike with Anthony Ferkser.
I think he's going to be the slot receiver there.
You believe in Des Fitzpatrick?
No, I don't. That doesn't strike fear into my Ferkser pick.
Steve with a Bears tight end? I am shocked.
I'm gonna have my pick of the litter here. I like the spot for tight end. Like, there's some really good options. They're kind of like no one's really looking at. Like, obviously, you're not going to draft them higher than their ADPs right now, but they could have a good, productive season with their teams. This guy that's going, I knew he was going to take a tight end. So Everett was one of the guys I was looking at. I'm kind of off on Gronk. Like OJ Howard's coming back. I don't know how he's going to fit into that offense. I think Gronk's production is going to go down a little bit. Plus, he's got to compete with everyone else that is on that team that's getting the ball thrown to them. So I'm either going to go, depending on what Spence 20. He doesn't have a tight end either, so he might take one of these guys. But I'm either going to go with Cook or Henry.
So Steve,
and I don't have to worry.
Steve is right when he says that he hears the Bears are back, baby. He's right. I'm just shocked that Steve. I thought Steve given up on the Bears. That's all. And speaking of Bears tight ends, you still could draft Jimmy Graham, Jordan.
Oh, I went with Jared Cook. But what are we drafting? Sorry,
I didn't realize you went through that quickly. Jeez.
Yeah, sorry. I'm back on the clock. So
yeah.
All right, just let me know. I'll just
wide receiver.
I'm gonna make this quick. Again, I don't love it, but he could be the wide receiver 1. We really don't know going into this. So I figured I'd get a guy with a good target share or a supposed good target share in Brashad Perriman.
Yeah. Lions receivers are just... It's so funny reading.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. And like Amon-Ra St. Brown, the fact that his ADP is around the same before even playing a single snap is a little too risky for me. Like Brashad Perriman, I know he hasn't been great. He's a former first-round pick, but he's at least been productive in his career. So I just went with what I know rather than what could be.
He flashed,
which is funny in best ball. You should do the other way around,
but he does flash big and then he fails big as well. And it's hilarious listening to.
But that's what you want for best ball. As long as he just shows up some weeks, then I'm fine with that.
And it's so funny listening to or reading line training camp reports right now because it's exactly what you'd expect. It's Tyrell Williams is big and tall and catches jump balls. Rashad Perriman makes some really cool plays and a lot of really bad plays. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Quintez Cephas, they're getting open, but they are really bad athletes.
But I think that we didn't talk about the wrinkle in the Lions wide receiver room. They brought in Chad Hansen, so I think that completely throws a wrench in everything.
Yeah, the 2-week stud of 2020.
Hey, man, he made this. You know what? I watched those 2 games were against the Colts, so like that's why I just remember him very fondly.
And Steve goes with Terrace Marshall. That is a great pick. I love Terrace Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that he fell to the round 2 is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I would have taken Marshall over Amon-Ra St. Brown for sure.
Too.
Like, especially with Joe Brady and like the familiarity there, like he definitely will have. All right, like with all the targets that Curtis Samuel left behind, I think there's a great opportunity for him.
Ooh, and Brian Edwards goes to Mike.
Sophomore breakout, mildly. I mean, it's hard to be much worse than he was last season, so it's going to be a slight improvement at the very least.
It's not going to be better than Henry Ruggs, though. I'll tell you that for sure. No, he probably will.
Oh, yeah, because Derek Carr is always looking downfield so deep.
He was last year, though. Some games he was. It's usually to Aguilar.
So, of course, with him gone, got to go to Ruggs.
Or John Brown.
Oh, I get a choice finally. Okay, so Jacoby Myers is my wide receiver that I will be taking at the end of the 14th. And for the 15th, do I go with a running back? Just for a quick recap, we have running back, wide receiver left, running back, and quarterback. So I think I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with wide receiver, and I'm going to take Christian Kirk because even though I didn't get Kyler Murray, I kind of regret it now. I'm investing in the Cardinals' offense, which isn't a bad idea because I have to.
But I thought you hate Cliff Kingsbury, though.
Yeah, but Kyler Murray is good enough to succeed despite Cliff Kingsbury. The problem is people think Cliff Kingsbury is adding to Kyler, and he's not at all. He's making Kyler worse, but Kyler's good enough to rise past that. That is the thing.
You know what, man? I live for your
you baited me
Cliff
there,
Kingsbury hate. Oh, absolutely. I live for your Cliff Kingsbury hate. I'm not saying not that it's unjustified. I just think it's hilarious.
Oh, and Mike drafts the wide receiver 2 in Atlanta, Olamide Zaccheaus. Well done, sir.
Well, he is the essential epitome of a deep threat for them. So that's what you want in best ball. Is he's going to have those 60-yard touchdowns every once in a while. Now that Julio's not there, they got to do it for somebody. And Calvin Ridley can't catch quite everything there.
And Russell Gage is absolutely not a deep threat. That guy runs like a 4.6. Slow slot receiver. Denzel Mims, Steve, and I love that pick. He's been getting a lot of hate this offseason. Apparently he's practicing with the wide receiver 2s. But I still think Denzel Mims is a really good football player. I think he'll rise above that.
It'll depend because this new regime doesn't have anything invested in him, and it'll be if they think he's going to fit in their system as well as guys like Crowder and Moore.
But he was Joe Douglas's pick. But you're right, the coaching staff, it's not their guy, so
yeah,
I agree with that. So interesting here. I am going to go. I think I'm good for wide receiver now. I know I'm going to probably draft maybe 1 or 2 left, depending on what the wheel has. So I think I'm going to go running back here. I'm a little worried about my bye weeks. I'm going to take a guy that's probably going to give me a few good weeks at the beginning of the season and then completely fall off, whether that be a benching or an injury. And I'll go Tevin Coleman. And I know, Jack, you're going to say that's Ty Johnson. And I was thinking about that, but he's way too low in the ADP. And
we're in the 16th round. ADP doesn't matter anymore.
But I do think Coleman's going to start the year as the starter, and I'll take those few 3-4 weeks that he does well, and then gets bumped off by either Michael Carter or Ty Johnson, or maybe both.
Absolutely, he will start week 1.
That's what I'm drafting for, is like because I know he will be the starter at least some point in the season.
But then he's going to get benched after the first order.
He's battled injuries the past couple seasons ever since the
it's a running back, by the way, Jordan. You're up here with running back. Sorry,
I was not paying. Another running back. Oh God. All right, this one's going to be a shot play. This was quick, but it's going to be a.
I let you talk too much about Tevin Coleman and forgot to tell you the.
Well, that's my fault. That one's a dart throw there. I'm just hoping for the best with Kenny Gainwell. Could have went Ty Johnson and just completely just.
Don't you do it?
Just made all of my irrelevant.
Don't you do it, Steve? Don't you dare!
Spite picks.
Always taking them.
Nobody's against a nice spite pick.
Don't do it, Steve. Don't
do it. Do it.
Oh, this is
yes.
I have never been more upset about getting sniped in the 16th round than I am right now. Never in my life. Steve doesn't even like Ty Johnson. He doesn't deserve him.
Yeah. I was going to make a spite pick. It's going to be really sad when it's like LaMichael P. Ryan is like the starter and we're all wrong.
No. Michael.
I know. I just kept kidding.
He's bad.
He flashed so much anyway. He was playing last season.
LaMichael Pierce's bad. If he gets cut and they keep, I can't even remember the other running back's name, but if he gets cut, I'm not shocked. Wow. This is quite a predicament. Mike with Wayne Gallman, so he takes one of the 49ers running backs.
Oh, and then Jeff Wilson went right after.
I'm not going to lie, I debated on Jeff Wilson to see about for the late season push.
Well, that's unfortunate because both of you picked the wrong 49ers running back. And the running back you should have picked is Elijah Mitchell. 201 pounds, 5'9", 5'10", I believe. Runs a 4.4 flat. He is a size speed specimen, much like Raheem Mostert, and he is going to be the one-for-one replacement for Jeff Wilson. And the big difference there, Jeff Wilson, not a good athlete at all. He is a very poor athlete, and you're not allowed to be surprised when Jeff Wilson comes back and Elijah Mitchell is still the one getting those targets and getting a lot of goal line carries as well because he is explosive, he is powerful, he is fantastic. And Darrington Evans is the guy I'm taking here because it's too late now to switch. Probably could have taken Ramondre. So we're taking a run back or a wide receiver here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I had taken Ramondre Stevenson because he's going to score 2 touchdowns in one game at some point this season, and he's going to have 2 carries, 2 touchdowns, 2 yards, but that's worth it.
I mean, once you're this far down, it's kind of grabbing straws here.
Mm-hmm. So I'm really scared because our last pick is quarterback. I don't even want to know who's we went quarterback at the bookends of this draft. This is hilarious.
Oh, and how Steve's just being rude now. Can't believe he got the Jet starter in the 16th hashtag steal. I know you can't, and I'm mad about it. The worst part is he is always available in the 17th or 18th round. People really need to wake up on Ty Johnson. They still haven't done it, even though he's getting rave reports out of training camp.
Mini camp.
Same thing. It's all camp. And Jordan with the wide receiver tight end on board here. Or wide receiver running back.
And this quarterback to end, I know. All right, well, I am taking... oh, my God. It's either going to be the 2 top guys or both rookies. I'm going to go Kadarius Toney. Hopefully they can find some role for him. He doesn't get squeezed out. A lot of mouths to feed, though, especially Galladay on that team. But I went with Kadarius Toney. And running back or wide receiver. Oh my God! Wow, quarterback to end off.
Like you
There's
said,
only 4 options. You were going to get there eventually.
Yeah, well, I could have said tight end.
I could have gone defense.
Super flex.
And we are left with some characters at quarterback here. This is ugly. I never, ever, ever again want to bookend a draft with quarterbacks.
Yeah, I can't say I would have expected to wait all the way to this to get a quarterback or the second quarterback.
All right, I just got to make sure when's Lamar Jackson's bye week 8. Okay.
Double checking bye weeks. Got to make sure.
Oh, I have to for this. So I can't take Derek Carr. I think I'm going to go for the Adam Troutman stack here and go with Famous Jameis.
You think James is going to be starter? Oh, yeah.
I think we all should.
If they start Taysom Hill, then what's even the point?
If they do, then we know.
That's on Jameis too. Like, why did you come back if you knew that there's a chance that Taysom Hill is going to be the starter?
That's the thing that no one is talking about. Is James chose to come back knowing, yeah, I can beat this guy.
He's a gadget player. If he can't beat him out, that's on more Jameis than it is on Sean Payton. But yeah, I have Winston. You know what? If he does start, then because he'll be throwing a ton of passes.
And there's enough talent on that offense that even if he isn't throwing great passes, they'll make the most with it.
Yeah, and I have Lamar to pass. Like, I'm not relying on Jameis every week, so I'm okay with the pick.
And Steve gets Derek Carr, which is the best quarterback available here. The fact that Derek Carr is going in the 18th round is kind of absurd to me.
I got him that late in one of my best ball drafts. I couldn't believe it. Like, I don't know why the Derek Carr hates, just because everyone thinks that Oakland is such a mediocre team, and they're right, but it's the defense that makes the offense seem mediocre.
Actually, Oakland isn't a team at all. Is the thing.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, you know what I meant. You know what I meant. How am I supposed to keep up with all these relocations? Oh, funny story though. I saw a Los Angeles Raiders license plate cover when I was driving to work the other day. I couldn't believe it.
Oh boy, and so I am left with Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock. Who do I think is going to be the starter? I
get ahead of the curve and pick Jordan Love.
Nope. Aaron's not going anywhere. Could get ahead. Mac Jones has apparently made it a quarterback competition, but
have you seen the videos of their mini camp whenever you look at Cam Newton next to Mac Jones?
Yes, I have.
It's hard to believe that they play the same sport, let alone the same position.
Well, it's kind of hard when Mac Jones is wearing 50. You're like, oh, what position is this guy playing?
Why's that undersized center hanging out next to Cam Newton?
So this is how it ends. This is how the world ends. This is how the world ends. Not with a bang, but with Teddy Bridgewater in the 18th round. I'm not winning this league. Jack knows best, and my team will be the best out of all the people that drafted among us following the Wheel of WoW, but compared to the other people in this draft, they will be taking my money, because Patrick Mahomes and Teddy Bridgewater, my two quarterbacks, does not feel good. Teddy's probably going to be starting with 8 games. I think he will. And then running backs are good, though. Travis Etienne, fantastic. He is the RB1. He's going to catch a lot of balls there in Jacksonville. Raheem Mostert, kind of forgotten about now in San Francisco. People are all in on Trey Sermon, think that he is the guy, which is fair enough. I understand why, but it's just Raheem Mostert is still a very explosive runner, still can take 90 yards to the house and score a touchdown. That's what I'm counting on. And then the rest of the team is just guys. Darrell Henderson is banking on Cam Akers' injury. Maybe he gets a touchdown or two with Cam Akers on the field. Tariq Cohen is like the quintessential PPR guy that you don't know when he's going to score 20 points, but he will at some point. So he helps in best ball, but it's still really, really frustrating. And then Elijah Mitchell, kind of the same thing. He's that Jeff Wilson. And Darrington Evans is he's Derrick Henry's back. We need a Derrick Henry injury for that to happen, which not something I want to bet on at all. Receivers, though, are immaculate. Like DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf, Robert Woods, Cortland Sutton. Those are all wide receiver ones in great offenses. Brandon Cooks is a wide receiver 1 in a bad offense. Darnell Mooney, wide receiver 2 in a great offense. Jacoby Myers, possible wide receiver 1 in a bad offense. And Christian Kirk, wide receiver 2 in a great offense. Don't talk to me about AJ Green. And the Titans could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. Noah Fant, size speed freak, amazing athlete. Jonnu Smith, size speed freak, amazing athlete. And that's all you need at tight ends, because 2 touchdown and 3 receptions is a tight end 5 finish. Oh boy. You can hear the pain in my voice right now. All right, Mike, you go ahead. You explain it.
I mean, Josh Allen's easy. You sit there and you have. I got the best running quarterbacks in the red zone for Cam Newton, Josh Allen. I don't know if Cam Newton's going to start the whole season, but when he's on the field, he is the player that's taking the goal line carries. So
And
that's just.
At worst, if Mac Jones beats him out, Cam Newton could still be Taysom Hill. He could be getting those goal line touchdowns, right?
Who doesn't need a Taysom Hill on their team? We've seen how well it's done for New Orleans with all the Super Bowls that they've won with him under contract.
Yeah, as long as he's not starting quarterback, then it should be okay.
And who knows? Maybe they'll put Cam Newton at the punt protector and everything else too.
Oh boy!
But so the quarterbacks are easy. I got the rushing guys that are going to get the rushing touchdowns. Running back, I got my wide receiver Aaron Jones. I got Jacobs, who is going to have those huge games. I mean, that's what he's been known for since entering the league. Has been getting a lot of touches and scoring touchdowns when they get inside the 5. Kenyon Drake is scary. I mean, you have 2 of the top, I think, 10 highest paid running backs, and it's just John Gruden's doing great. So we're just gonna disregard the rest of his moves. Myles Gaskin, whenever he was in there, he was a bell cow, like we talked about. He's going to have 15, 20 touches every game. It's just whether they're going to be receptions, rushes, you're getting both. You're not going to – he's even been the goal line guy, so not too worried about him. And then Hines and White are the receiving backs that are just going to catch at least a handful each game. Nothing to really worry about there. Gallman, I mean, it's a dart throw for San Fran. You never know what Shanahan's thinking. He could easily just sit there and say, I'm going to pick this guy this week. I don't know if he has a dartboard in the back of his office or something. He just puts the pictures up and then tosses the dart and see where it lands. That's who's going to be the lead running back that week. But at least 1 week, it's probably going to be Gallman. I feel that 1 week.
The only thing I'm going to challenge you on that, I don't think it's a dartboard. I think he just has running backs with staring contest. It goes full Pete Carroll. Just whoever can keep the eyes open the longest, you're a starter this week.
Well, I don't know if I have a scouting report on staring contests yet. I'll have to do a little bit more
analytics.
Well, can I just say that, would that mean Raheem Mostert would be the starter then every week?
Oh.
Wow.
No? Okay.
That was pretty good.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
That was the dad joke.
I hated to say that. That would hurt coming out.
The wide receivers, I mean, I got target monsters in Odell and Keenan Allen. Devontae's going to be a target monster. And then, as we saw with Ryan Fitzpatrick's training camp picture, him and Curtis Samuel are best friends. They're BFFs. So you're going to want to throw the ball to your BFF, especially since he's a new weapon, a new shiny toy that he has. Bateman, it was not just because of Steve at all. Don't, take away some of my articles or anything like that this year.
No, it was too late. Once you made that pick, that already happened.
And then otherwise, it's just dart throws at the end with deep threats and Zacchaeus. Rodgers. They picked him to pair with Aaron Rodgers, right? Rodgers to Rodgers. Yeah. They just wanted to be a smooth transition for the announcers to say, A-Rod to A-Rod for a touchdown. If I hear that a few times this year, it's going to be pretty good for it. And tight end, I mean, you are so down on Higbee. I get it. I mean, he didn't have a great year last year, but everybody was way too high on him after his, 5-week, 6-week period, the end of the 2019 season. But that just shows that he can do it at a high level if he's getting the targets. I think Stafford's going to give him the targets because he's done it with every other tight end he's had in Detroit. Some of those were first-round picks. Some of them undrafted guys like Fourier. So he's not afraid of throwing it to whoever's at the tight end position. And Ferkser's going to be the slot guy. I call it now. He's going to be in the slot for the Titans. And Tannehill's going to at least look for him whenever he's not looking at Julio Jones and A.J. Brown.
All right, Jordan. Up next, we have your team, and this is something else.
Well, you know what? I was at mercy of the wheel, so I'll just blame it on that. So, you know what? I'm really happy I got Lamar in the first round, but considering like we had 5 people taking quarterback.
Sorry, Mike. Bad news for you. I beat my record of being put on probation, but I currently have the longest streak of being on probation. So,
you know what, Mike?
I'm making an impact.
Yeah, wear like a badge of honor. Exactly.
And you know what? People are talking about you. If people are talking, it's never a bad thing.
All publicity is good publicity.
So anyways, yeah, like I haven't got Lamar QB5 in this draft in the first round, as you can tell by the ADP and where I picked him. And then Jameis, like that's a dart throw. I just hope that he's the starter. I hope they don't go Taysom Hill. I really hope they don't. I know Jason would disagree with me, but I think it's going to be the Jameis show, and I think you'll have a lot of good weeks that he could outscore Lamar, but I don't think it'll happen a lot. Running backs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, where I got him, you can see based on where I got him in his ADP, it was a steal, top of the 4th round. I'll take that. I think he'll have a better year this year. Chase Edmonds, I didn't feel great about that pick. That was kind of a quick, I had to pick a running back, but I think Chase Edmonds is the running back to own in that offense. I don't think James Conner will take over that Chase Edmonds role that he is moving on from, whatever. Zach Moss, I like that pick. I didn't really like the Singletary, but at least I own the Buffalo backfield. And again, Buffalo backfield,
it's
not the greatest backfield.
It's not going to be great when you're getting 6 points from both of them.
Yeah, Matt Breida, I know. And then Coleman, like we said, I think Coleman could start the year as the starter. I don't think it'll be very long. I think either Michael Carter. I don't know about Ty Johnson. I'm not as high as Ty Johnson as you are, but he is in the mix, so I still have to worry about that. And Kenny Gainwell, that's just one that I thought that that running back situation nobody knows about. They have a bunch of misfits, and then they have Miles Sanders. So if they want to move on from Miles Sanders, that's great. But Kenny Gainwell is a rookie that they seem to like. And wide receiver.
Hold on a sec. We do know that Kenny Gainwell. You gotta love him because he's the new Nyheim Hines. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So and you know this is half PPR, so that makes my pick even better. So wide receiver, a lot of guys that I probably wouldn't draft and redraft where I did. Tyreek Hill, easily one of the best ball receivers. He's going to get you a stupid amount of points some of the weeks. And you know what? Curtis Samuel may be Ryan Fitzpatrick's bestie, but he's not Scary Terry. And Scary Terry is the wide receiver 1 on that team. I love him, and he's going to get me a lot of points for this team. Will Fuller, we know about Will Fuller and Tyler Boyd, kind of ceiling, floor play on that one. Ruggs, let's move on from that.
Rashad play, I guess.
Well, I mean, like, how high is that ceiling though? Like
it's like 4-foot ceiling.
More metaphorically, it sounds good, but we really don't know.
We can fit in the house that has this ceiling, but
may have to duck when you're going in, but it's still a ceiling.
Brashad Perriman, like I said, could be the wide receiver 1 on that team. There's a lot of targets, like aside from TJ Hawkinson and DeAndre Swift, somebody else has got to catch that ball. I hope it's Perriman. And the Kadarius Toney, that was just like a late round pick. Hopefully he has a role in that offense and could be somewhat serviceable during the weeks. And I like my tight ends. I really like Mark Andrews where I got him, especially stacking him with Lamar. Troutman, I kind of reached on Troutman, but it was a tight end round, and Troutman's got a lot of hype going into this season. So hopefully he can fill the role left by Jared Cook. And speaking of Jared Cook, I feel like the Chargers tight end is always fantasy relevant, so I'm glad I have him, and hopefully him and Herbert have a great connection. So I really like the tight ends on this team.
That is true. You did. That is the one good part of your team is the tight end position. I will give you that. And Steve has wisely pointed out that the real winner of this draft was Hoopstar 5060 for getting to draft with us. Could he capitalize? Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields, great quarterbacks. His running backs, CMC and Najee. CMC at a 102 is unfair. That is ridiculous. Najee Harris just very, very lucky. Gets incredible value with A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, all falling way farther than they should have because we were making terrible picks. And
those tight ends
are... Mo Cox sighting. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm the only... Mo Alley Cox, you know what? Probably a great dude, but I still tell him he's just a guy.
Jordan will never agree with me on Mo Alley Cox, and so
he's just a guy. I have no hate against him. He's just a guy.
So we will close things out with the team of our important nonsense, very own boss, Steve Bonham, because he will be joining me next week on Jack Knows Best. as will at the Casey Kasem. Yes, that's right. Casey Kasem will be joining us next week on Jack Knows Best. Does she know better than Jack? Probably. I'm willing to concede she might. But
that's a fair assumption.
However, Steve does not, and I prove that by going through his team right now. Kyler Murray and Derek Carr, those are actually pretty good quarterbacks. I will give him that. But then Chris Carson as his RB1, Trey Sermon as his RB2, David Johnson as his RB3. Just that's not something I would ever do, even though he did snipe Ty Johnson from me. I'm not going to lie, Steve did pretty well, and I'm kind of upset about that. I was hoping to trash his team pretty heavily, but when you get Devontae Adams as your wide receiver 1, Allen Robinson, you know what? Steve did fine, and so we're going to move on from this and close things
That's the best you're going to give him. That's the best we're getting out of you.
Yeah. Steve, you did better than I can trash, so that is unfortunate. But we will close things out. Oh, there we go. I am still learning how to do this. I am not the best at transitions, as we have noticed, but we will sign out. Jordan, plug your pluggables. What do you have to say to the lovely people who have joined us here tonight?
Yeah, thanks for watching. For those that followed all the way through, I hope you had a great time. I certainly did. And you can follow me on Twitter. Oh, I did it again. I pointed again at the wrong at Donald McJordan. My tweets are not as good as my pointing skills, but at least I try, and that's all I can say.
Mike, any final thoughts for all of your one-over fans tonight, except for our boss, who is probably the most important fan we could have, and now he hates you. But any parting words for the rest of the people that do like you?
Just follow me on Twitter at _Mike_Manning. Keep up with all the stuff we're doing here at Important Nonsense. You can see a bunch of my articles this offseason every other week for the AFC North updates. And in season, we'll be doing a bunch of redraft stuff to see how I can try and redeem myself with my boss.
You have a lot of making up to do to Steve. So be sure to join us each and every week for Jack Knows Best. I am Jack. I'm the host. I do know best. You can find me everywhere at Jacknaut87. And if you think you know better than Jack, you can use promo code NONSENSE. Compete with me on UnderDog Fantasy. You get a free $25 when you sign up with promo code NONSENSE. The exact amount for BestBall Mania 2, which is their $1,000,001 contest. Free $1,000,001 is what we are offering you when you use promo code NONSENSE. You can't beat it. And you can't beat next week when we will have the return of Nonsense_Steve Bonham. And we will be joined by the real Casey Kasem. Just lots of exciting things coming up. Thank you for joining us tonight for Jack Knows Best.